Hello, welcome to another episode of the High Ground, powered by Premier Companies. Jeff, how are you this morning?
I'm wonderful, Sal. Yourself?
Doing awesome.
Who you got for us?
Well, we have a special guest today. First time here. All right, we have
Got a newbie.
We do have one. Josh Haley, President and CEO of Temple Excavating. Josh, how are you today?
Good, thank you, fellas.
Well, thanks for coming in. But before, no matter how special guest, you got to have the question of the day. So, your question of the day is, make sure I get this right. What is one of your most irrational fears or phobias? And you got a funny story about it?
I'm actually scared of heights. So
That doesn't work good with bucket trucks, does it?
I actually deal with it. So we have an asphalt plant. Everything's obviously up in the air pretty high and have to go up. And the guys a lot of times will make fun of me because I'm one of those. It's like 6 points of contact for me because I have to go. I deal with it, but
got two safety harnesses on.
I'm just not a real big fan of it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, I'd be that one too. With if I had a tail, it'd be wrapped around something.
Yeah,
Jeff,
I don't know if I have anything that's really. I can't say that I'm not scared of anything, but probably rats.
Ugh.
Mice don't bother me, snakes don't bother me, but there's something about when you see a rat that creeps me out.
Yeah. I watched Dad was cleaning out an old milk house, and he had straw packed around a pressure tank or something in the corner, and he was dragging the straw out, and rats were running everywhere. And one of them ran up one arm. He caught it on his chest and killed it, threw it to the side, and kept. I was like, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, they creep me out. Mice don't seem to bother me, but you get a little size on them and they creep me out.
Yeah, I don't like heights or rats either. In particular, I don't think anybody does. But I don't like snakes. Don't like the funniest thing. If you ever get on YouTube or one of those places where they have the funny videos, these guys will be on a golf course and they'll clip a snake, like a rubber snake, to the shirt tail or something.
Mm-hmm.
That is hilarious. And that's what I would be like. If I turned around and something was coming after me like that, I'd be like, wow. All right. Well, let's get started. So Josh, tell us a little bit about yourself and Temple and how you got to where you're at today.
Well, so Temple's been in business 78 years. It's a family-owned business. Walton Howard started it. Basically with a dozer out of the weeds. So, I mean, it's a very neat story to hear that, it's still carrying on as it is. There's not a lot of companies that can claim that they've been around for 75 years. So, I started for them in 2009. I actually was a general laborer. So I started off as a pipe layer. And each time take another step. And now I'm CEO.
Neat. So you just started off working at the bottom and
very bottom actually. So, it's one of those that, have been a lot of experiences. I've learned a lot of things the hard way, and really didn't skip any steps. So, I mean, as an operator, most of the time after the first couple of years, along with being foreman and then superintendent of multiple jobs, I was general superintendent for a couple of years, COO for a couple of years, and it's one of those I've always strived to the next step as fast as I could get there, and I got there. So it's just part of it.
That's awesome. And now, so any new employee that comes in and they look, he's just the CEO, but they don't realize that you've been there, done all those jobs.
Yeah. So it's pretty hard to buffalo me. I've pretty well tried about everything. I've been a part of really about anything in the construction world you can, at least for some amount of time. And to be honest, it makes it really nice. It makes it nice to have a general knowledge of everything. And it makes you, it makes the job easier. It really does. It's hard to lead if you haven't done it once before.
Yeah.
Could you just go through and kind of list off just kind of a variety of the jobs that you guys have done? I mean, like, building roads or plants or whatever.
Absolutely. So we own our own asphalt plant there in Salem. Got 3 concrete crews on staff. Anything earthwork wise will pretty well tried to accommodate you. Anything underground, water, sanitary, stormwater, roadways, site work, getting into some subdivisions, building our own houses. There's really not a whole lot we won't try. We've got here 5 years ago, we got into like the CIPP epoxy coating for sanitary and stormwater, which is basically a no dig. Anymore, everybody wants the least inconvenience that they can have. And a lot of times it's not feasible. You can't go out here in downtown Seymour and, dig up 50 and not expect to affect everybody. So there's, and it's true for all fields. Technology's gotten a whole lot better, and there is ways that you can give people a solution that remedies the problem without necessarily having to dig the road up now. So we also do about everything, stick lining, geocrete, about everything that's the other direction. We do it also. So,
wow. How many employees roughly?
We're probably right around 120 right now.
Wow.
Nice.
Good deal.
I think everybody would be glad to hear that maybe someday we won't have to tear roads up. We'll just
Yeah, I don't think that you'll ever get to where it's just at zero, but when you can, you by all means you should. So.
Because the city of Seymour apparently has never heard of whatever that.
Yeah,
because they did 2nd Street. They must have went down 20 feet and started over.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And sometimes you have to, and timing's a lot of it. I mean,
Sure.
Sometimes if you, and wait too long or something, happens, a liner or a epoxy is not the right solution for the projects. It's part of it.
So as an operator, what was your favorite piece of equipment to run?
Probably a track hoe. I'm probably a track hoe or a grader.
Nice.
I'm most talented in track hoe, so you always pick the one you're best at. So,
And just for Sal's sake, would you ask him what his favorite piece of equipment is to run?
sure.
He's
Yeah,
a
Sal, what's your
wannabe-
favorite, buddy?
Well, mine's probably the backhoe, but when I get this excavator here in a couple of weeks, it'll probably be that little excavator.
Yeah.
They call it a midi. It's not a mini size. It's a medium, largest of the medium size ones. I wanted to get one kind of in that size range they've got, but one, it was very expensive, and two, probably wouldn't fit like in my shop and stuff.
We always have to give Sal a little time to talk about his excavating fetish.
Yeah. I should have had a sandbox when I was a kid. I didn't have any toys. So
Well, I mean, and I'm bad about it too. So I own a farm too, and it's, I'm really bad. There's always a couple of excavators, a dozer, hid at my house.
Yeah.
So you'd think I'd get enough of it through the week, but I always have got some project at home I'm wanting to do too. So I'm just as bad as Sal is.
they'll be like, "Where's that unit?" Oh man, we have to go get it.
Yeah, it's down at the house. So
Well, Josh, one thing in the ag, Premier Ag's in the ag and energy industries, and obviously roads and bridges is something we all share. Can you tell us a little bit about what goes into repaving or paving, and what all happens there? And is there more being done now? It sure seems like there's more road closures and cones and barrels. It just seems like there's a lot being done recently, at least this past summer.
Well, I think part of it is just coincidence. Part of it is a large amount of our main infrastructure was done 50, 60 years ago plus. So what you're finding now is that a large amount of the roadways, the culverts, bridges, they've way surpassed their life expectancy of what it was designed when they were installed. I always use a galvanized culvert because we do a lot of them. We slip line them, which doesn't affect traffic too bad, but they were designed for 30 years. Well, my goodness, they were put in the 40s and 50s. So, I mean, it's one of those, we've way out surpassed, the life expectancy that it had. As far as the roadway question, subbase is normally the biggest thing that kind of tells on a road. Lots of things can affect it. Water's normally the biggest. Is the asphalt roadway is only as strong as what's under it. So if you have a strong subbase under asphalt, it'll last our lifetime. Traffic, the amount of weight that runs across it all the time, obviously matters also. As far as fixing one, most commonly anymore, what you'll see is an overlay, which is just basically milling 1.5 inches off and laying 1.5 inches back. That is injunction of saying that the sub base is good. The life expectancy of the asphalt, 20 years AC oil gets brittle. And the longer that you drive on it, the more cracking, deterioration that you'll get. And if you just basically mill off and give it that 1.5 inches of new, as long as sub base is good, you'll get another 20 years out of it. So a lot of it's timing. I mean, it really is.
It does. Now that you mentioned that, it would have made sense that they started getting rid of all the gravel roads at a certain time. And
yeah. So it's just, I think partially it's just coincidence that it's almost a cycle, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So at a certain point here, they were really go-getters, 50s and 60s. We did a lot of interstates, a lot of state highways, and we haven't done much to them since. So it's just time. It's time to, spruce it up a little.
Yeah. One of the things, and Josh, full disclosure here, and one of the things that made me think about why, one, just for the industry of roads and bridges and construction, but you've taken a fairly unique approach with local public school, West Washington School Corporation, of how to kind of do a partnership with your business and the school to help educate kids and get them licensed and prepared for work in the construction industry. Mm-hmm. So can you talk a little bit about that partnership and how you came up with the idea and what it is?
Absolutely. So I'm no different than everybody else that has a company. We were really struggling with labor, and it is a problem now that I think everybody has, and really just got to thinking that you can only get what walks in the door. You have Indeed and all the different ways of trying to draw employment, and Prosser there in Clark County is pretty big, and they have their own heavy equipment class. And I've seen a good amount of local students going to Prosser and still living in Washington County and Jackson, multiple counties here, but going down to work down south. So my original kind of thought was if we offered something here local that I could not only influence but also even pull from that group of individuals for employment for myself. So I have four kids. 3 of them go to West Washington now. And there was multiple benefits for me because I think it is an amazing school district that really is trying to, its college isn't for everybody. And they understand that, and they want to help our young people be prepared in whatever job they're going to try to do. So they were Keith Nance was amazing as far as helping get it off the ground. And the rest is kind of history now. So,
kind of a different approach whenever, we think about like a partnership, businesses might say, bring the kids to the business and we'll teach them there. You brought the business to the kids. So,
well, and what's bad, and everybody can probably understand, liability more is unbelievable. Insurance is a challenge, and it was one of those that it worked best for both parties. We both wanted the same goal. Neither was set in their ways on what had to happen to get to that goal. So when everybody's open-minded and willing just to try to strive for that, that's where we ended up.
What kind of things are the kids doing in high school to get prepared?
So last year we didn't have the course. We just did some projects with the school. So, I had some on-site, they're on campus projects that they wanted to do. I had a couple of my employees come out and help, donated some equipment, some materials, that kind of thing. And basically showed the kids not only the equipment, but also kind of a start to finish on the project. So, the erosion, the calling in locates, the general knowledge before you ever even start. And it went so well that and Lost River's a big part of this also. Loved the idea of a more of a operating course of construction. So then we tried it this year, and so far I think it's went amazingly. So
are the kids getting actual seat time on equipment?
They are. So it's kind of a joint venture between us, Lost River, and West Washington School. Lost River did buy some equipment for the course, and then if we need to supply anything, we have. So kind of going over plans. It's more than just the operating. It is a general knowledge of, I'm going to say, an earthwork company. So they get some knowledge on plan reading, because the weather's not always pretty. There's times that it doesn't work out where we just can't tear up the whole campus, with an excavator. So we try to give
it's spring. Let's get rid of the football field.
You're right, right. So we try to do some general knowledge, plan reading, safety, maintenance of equipment. We're doing the OSHA 10 where, that's kind of the safety side of it, where, the hard hat, the PPE, general knowledge of the field as a whole, along with the experience of running some equipment. So,
is there and we go to career fairs, we go to the colleges, around the area, career fairs. We try to get interns. Does TNT, do you take summer interns? I know insurance is a problem when it comes to kids under 18.
I do. So I've got 2 right now. Last year I had 2 also. I just can't let them drive. I mean, other than that, it's other than that, we're fine.
That's the same thing we find. If they're under 18, we can't let them operate, a vehicle. But that's a good process. What about high school career fairs? I know they're starting to see more of these high schools around. Do you guys go around to any other high schools and promote your company? A
little. West Washington was so receptive that it's the main one I'm dealing with right now. Yeah. The goal would be absolutely. I mean, the goal would be, but on that same token, I only wanted to bite off so much here out of the gate. I wanted it to be successful. And then if it's running well and everybody's receiving well, then by all means, I'd be more than happy to do more.
That's awesome.
I think it's neat that a student can take a construction class or a commercial driver's license class and still take all their core, their college dual credit. I mean, so they can, it used to be if you wanted to pick a trade, it was actually, no pun intended, a trade off. You had to get on a bus, go to a vocational school, and there was your day. You couldn't take physics or calculus, or you had to pick a lane as you're going through school. Now they can do those things at the next period. And it's pretty neat.
They're actually changing the diplomas, for Indiana high school diplomas. You got we used to be the honors route. Now they have, and I can't remember the term for it, but they have more that trade route. And, I think that's going to help, get some of these kids. Cause like I said, not everybody's going to, excel by going to college. There's opportunities out there, and it's kind of neat to hear a company that's stepping up and contributing.
Well, I appreciate that very much.
That's so you've gone as far as actually even one of your employees is the instructor.
That is correct.
For the class.
So we had to figure out who would be the best teacher. Obviously the teacher part of it, in my opinion, was more important than anything. It's more important than the equipment or anything. And there was a lot of thought between us and West Washington as far as who would be the best person to do that. I have an employee that was he's very good with kids, very receptive, and just sometimes you see it just fits the bill. And Travis is that. So Travis Robinson is the teacher of the course. And I think he does a fantastic job as far as a very well-rounded course. So it's not, they don't just come in every day and get in a piece of equipment and run it, because that's not all the job entails. And, having a understanding of the safety, the maintenance of the equipment, the reading of plans, and a lot of times they do it when it's raining. They're getting their basic OSHA 10. I mean, that's all things that will help them when they leave high school, whether they decide to do employment with me or somebody else. It's good knowledge.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Absolutely.
Very good. All right. Well, so what's some of the best advice you've ever gotten? I'm sure it was from your dad.
I'm trying to think of the best advice I've ever gotten.
You better listen to me.
Yeah, I can't say that there's one that just stands out in my mind that, you think about all the time of, boy, if I hadn't heard that, I'd have never been what I am now. Not stopping's a lot of it. I mean, it's easy to give up, but I don't know that I've really got a perfect saying to give somebody to say, hey, this will change. This will change you.
Change everything.
Yeah, I don't know that I have one of those.
All right. Well, I'll tell you, appreciate the insight. One thing I do have is, what is slip lining?
Slip lining is basically what we're talking about for rehab of culverts and pipes. So slip lining is a no dig solution. There's lots of options. HDPE is probably one of the more common ones. CIPP, which is cured in place liner, is another big one. It is basically so that you don't have to dig up the roadway, or you'll find a sewer line right underneath the hospital, or a culvert that is 60 feet in the ground. It is the solution for when digging it up isn't manageable.
And you just basically put a liner through the existing pipe or whatever's in there.
Correct. So like HDPE, you'll slide in it's basically a plastic liner through the host. You will bulkhead the ends and then fill it full of concrete. So the reason I like that solution better than most is you're filling any void. And a lot of times culverts we wait too long to replace them. They'll get rust spots, washed out spots in the bottom, which create cavity. Water's a extremely powerful force that nobody thinks about because it's under the ground. You know what I mean? If you see it, it's flooding your house, you see it. But when it's under the road, nobody really thinks about what damage it's doing as long as you don't see it with your eyes. So when we pump it full of concrete, it's actually pressure grouted to where it fills any cavities that's been created over the time. So
all right,
well, that makes sense.
Jeff, got anything else for Josh?
No, I think this is fascinating. I really like this approach you're taking at the high school level.
I appreciate that.
So that's very cool.
Very good. Well, you can find Josh and Temple and Temple at www.templeandtemple.com, or look at the West Washington Schools and the partnership at westwashingtonschools.org. So
let's do this. When you hire your first kid that's come through this course, we'll bring them both back in.
That'd be cool.
That'd be kind of cool.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, that's another episode of The High Ground, powered by Premier Companies. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.